I shake my head because after reviewing some conventional pie recipes, I realize just how unhealthy traditional fruit pies are. The same recipes handed down over countless generations, from mothers to daughters, cookbooks memorializing and institutionalizing those time-honored recipes. Certainly in the 19th century, there was little understanding of nutrition, and they had limited ingredients available. Basic flour, lard, sugar, plus the fruit. The fruit, of course, is healthy. But the rest? I looked up a few of those recipes. Let's start with the crust. Made from a couple of cups of refined white flour and a cup and a quarter of vegetable shortening, heart-killing partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, the worst kind of fat, which came into favor in the latter half of the 20th century, largely replacing lard. Lard is a semi-solid white fat produced by rendering the fatty tissue of a pig. But because it has more monounsaturated fat than vegetable shortening, also known as trans fat, lard is actually healthier. I remember when I was a child, my mother brought home those big cans of Crisco, vats of slimy white fat. Mix that with white flour, primarily starch. Bake it and call it a crust. How is that even supposed to taste good? And if homemade pies are unhealthy, forget about store-bought pies. My crust uses healthy whole wheat flour that actually has some taste. Adds a half cup of ground walnuts, a half cup of olive oil, an egg, some water, juice from a lemon, plus a little baking soda. It's not a traditional crust, for sure, so don't expect it to have the same texture or taste. It's different, but that's a good thing. But how about the filling? Doesn't traditional fruit pie filling taste good? If you like sugar, yeah. Mainstream fruit pie recipes today call for as much as 1¼ cups of white sugar. But why add all that sugar to already sweet fruit? Well, sugar in large amounts acts to form a thickening gel in jams, preserves, and fruit pies when raised to a high enough temperature in the presence of the soluble fiber pectin, which is contained in the fruit. The sugar also has a second function. It binds with and absorbs the water in the fruit, which limits the development of bacteria and mold, thereby inhibiting spoilage. Certainly this was important during the 1800s, when refrigeration and freezers were not available. But not today. Sugar used to be considered a good thing. Just as my mother used prodigious amounts of vegetable shortening when I was a child, she also used prodigious amounts of sugar in her baking and mixed cups of refined sugar into a pitcher of water, along with a little envelope of colored flavoring, and gave it to us to drink. Kool-Aid. Not healthy at all. But who knew back then? The absorption of sugar that is naturally present in fruits is buffered by the fiber in the fruit, which slows the uptake of that sugar during digestion, thereby moderating the level of sugar in your bloodstream. When you consume added refined sugars, however, sugar levels in the bloodstream spike, which increases your risk of diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, inflammation, dementia, heart disease, and stroke. Your liver converts excess sugar into fat. And don't forget tooth decay and skin aging. My filling includes an apple, 1½ cups of cranberries, 2 cups of cherries, and then 3 tablespoons of flour and 1 tablespoon of raw cane sugar to help the fruit juice thicken. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, juice from 1 lemon, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So basically, fruit, not jam. What you get is a pie that tastes better and goes from abjectly unhealthy to, wait for it, a fruit pie that's actually healthy. It doesn't taste the same as a traditional fruit pie, neither the crust nor the filling. If you are expecting it to, you will be disappointed. The problem with tradition is it's persistent. Most people don't like change. So let's start. First, the pie filling. There's no excuse for this not to be healthy. Mix together in a large bowl 1 apple, or 2 small ones, peeled if you like, but healthier with the peel on, cored and thinly sliced. The fiber slows the absorption of the glucose, so stabilizes blood sugar. The antioxidants in fiber lower cholesterol and, by extension, blood pressure. Eating apples reduces inflammation and promotes gut health. Best eaten raw with the skin on. 1½ cups of cranberries. Add some tartness. I buy fresh in November and freeze enough to last a year. Antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. 2 cups of cherries. Not cherry pie filling, no syrup. I buy frozen pitted dark cherries and defrost them. Cherries are high in vitamins, minerals, fiber, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory compounds. Cherries also contain melatonin, which may improve your sleep. And they taste great. 3 tablespoons of flour and 1 tablespoon of raw cane sugar to thicken the juice a bit. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon for flavor. Juice from 1 lemon enhances flavors and adds vitamin C. 1 teaspoon of vanilla enhances flavors. Mix the ingredients well. Cover and let sit for a couple of hours or overnight in the refrigerator. Okay, now make the crust. Grind the walnuts in a food processor, ½ cup. Good taste, texture, antioxidants, and omega-3 fatty acids. Add the whole wheat flour. Contains vital nutrients, lots of dietary fiber, phytochemicals, reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease, cancers, diabetes, and gastrointestinal disorders. Add 1 teaspoon of baking soda to lighten the crust. Pulse the food processor a few times to mix those dry ingredients. Then add ½ cup of olive oil. Highest level of monounsaturated fatty acids, lowering bad and raising good cholesterol. Antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Lowers blood pressure, the risk of cardiovascular disease, and some cancers. 1 egg. Good nutrition adds to the body of the crust. 1/3 cup of water. Juice from 1 lemon to activate the baking soda and add vitamin C. Turn on the food processor until the dough comes together. Turn the dough out on your counter, using flour to keep it from sticking. Divide the ball into two, 55% for the bottom crust and 45% for the top. Roll out the bottom and place it into your pie pan. I use glass. Spoon the filling into the crust. Then roll out the top and cover the pie with that crust. Poke holes to let steam escape. Bake in a preheated 365 degree Fahrenheit convection oven, or a little hotter if no convection, with the rack in the middle and an optional larger pan on a bottom rack to catch drippings. Bake for 50 minutes or longer if you don't see any drippings bubbling out through or around the crust. Let cool completely before eating. Better yet, put it in the refrigerator overnight to help firm up the filling. So, here it is. Warm in the microwave before eating, or not. Store any uneaten portion in the refrigerator if you expect to eat it within a few days. Since there's only me, I store individual slices in my freezer until I'm ready to eat them, weeks or months later. As always, experiment. This is but one filling mix. I'm sure you can imagine other combinations. Maybe a cherry, peach, blueberry pie? As always, thanks for watching. Next time, carrot cake with cranberries. Of course. 4 of 6.